Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the November 22nd, 2020 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am your host, Mikey B. WWE, and tonight's podcast will be featuring one of the WWE's big four pay-per-views of the year, Survivor Series. Survivor Series is, one of the most... glamorous, and it's one of the biggest spectacles in the WWE calendar. It is the second oldest pay-per-view show after WrestleMania. So, and a lot of iconic moments and a lot of not so iconic moments have, occurred on that stage. I've been lucky enough personally to have attended two Survivor Series. And the first one came in 1991, which was significant because tonight we're honoring, the WWE's honoring The Undertaker and giving him a proper farewell. And I was in the Survivor Series in 1991, was a year after Undertaker had debuted at the Survivor Series in 1990. But what was so special about it was that it was the first time in Survivor Series history that they featured a WWF Championship match, and it was champion Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker. And lo and behold, with the assistance of Ric Flair, Undertaker prevailed and won his very first WWF Championship, WWE Championship, whatever you want to call it. So I was there. I was in attendance for The Undertaker's very first championship and the man in his illustrious career only surprisingly won 7 championships, and I've actually been there for 2 of them. But speaking right now of this very first one at Survivor Series 1991, I do remember it was a very shocking upset that such a young guy, a young character like The Undertaker was, to beat Hulk Hogan at a top pay-per-view. It was pretty crazy, which is probably why the WWE decided to rip it from him a few days later at this event that they called Tuesday in Texas, and then it eventually set up for a classic Royal Rumble match where the winner of that match was able to capture the WWF championship just by winning the match. And of course Ric Flair went on to win that. Now that we've looked back at the past quite fondly in Survivor Series history, certainly with my own experience attached to it, let me get to tonight's event. Tonight's Survivor Series will be back to the traditional form in recent years of Monday Night Raw versus Friday Night SmackDown, pitting different pairs and teams and individuals from each respective show against one another. Last year, I should note, because there's almost to be no trace of it this year. Last year was the first time the Survivor Series involved 3 brands. It had, it's not the first time, but it's the first time it involved the NXT brand on the WWE show. So it had Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. And NXT went on to dominate that night, winning 4 of the main card's matches, which to me, at this point in time, a year later, what the heck was the point of all that if no NXT guys are on here? My best guess is that they were trying to smooth Triple H's ego and make him feel good for the job he's doing down in NXT. Whatever, it's not that special. There's a reason why they've reverted back to no NXT people being on there tonight. So back to the what they've been doing in recent years, Raw versus SmackDown. So on tonight's card, we have 6 matches on the main card, 1 on the kickoff show. The one on the kickoff show, as I've been doing all along thus far, I will not be giving any predictions for the kickoff matches. So I'll just be giving my predictions for the main 6 on the card here. And as I'm about to say this, I'm looking at WWE.com's website. It's the morning of the show tonight, and of course, just like they've been doing in recent fashion, the WWE says the match card includes, in brackets, so far. So it's the day of, and the WWE still may add or subtract matches, who knows. But as always, I'm only going to include matches which I've given predictions for, which actually appear on the main card towards my overall tally. So let's get to it. We got the 6 matches. The first one of the 6 is for the United States champion. I'm sorry, it's not for any belt. It features the United States champion Bobby Lashley from Monday Night Raw taking on the Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn from SmackDown. And actually, before I get into that prediction, I should mention, because NXT dominated last year and has no presence whatsoever, the year before, I should note, Monday Night Raw has had a clean sweep over SmackDown on the main card. The only victory SmackDown got was on the pre-show, kickoff show, which the company seemed to not even include in the when they were discussing the clean sweep. So if the company's not even including a match that occurred on a kickoff show, why the heck should I? So I'm not going to do that. And as a result, with Raw dominating 2 years ago, NXT winning last year, I wholeheartedly 100% feel that the WWE is going to give a big boost to SmackDown, of course, which airs on Fox, which draws WWE's biggest weekly ratings. So I'm expecting SmackDown to really kick some serious butt tonight. And so back to this first match on the card, which has Raw's Bobby Lashley, the United States champion, taking on SmackDown's Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental champion. In spite of what I just said, I do feel that this match will go to Raw's Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, of course, is part of the Hurt Business. He's a lot of help. He's going to take down Sami Zayn tonight. I just think that's how it's going to go down. Bobby Lashley will win one for Raw tonight over Sami Zayn. The second match on the card is one which I believe will probably be the show stealer tonight. It is the Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. I think this will be one of the few matches which we'll have a clean result. I also suspect that the New Day will do something which a lot of old school wrestlers, it's a tradition in the business, where you what they call give a rub to another guy or another team or another personality in the locker room to give them a bump for a boost in their career. I think that the New Day is going to do just that for the Street Profits. The New Day, of course, is one of the most accomplished tag teams in WWE history. They are future WWE Hall of Famers without question. So on a high-profile platform like Survivor Series, I think the New Day will feel it's the right thing to do to put over the Street Profits tonight. And I think it'll be done in it's probably going to be a long match, and it'll probably be a lot of back and forth. But I do expect the Street Profits to come away victorious, and also there'll be a lot of love between the two teams after the match. I believe. I think there's going to be a lot of hugs and New Day kind of, in a little bit of in a way, passing the torch along. I mean, New Day is not done, of course, yet, but I think in this moment it's the right thing to do, and I think the New Day knows that, and they're going to do it. So even though I guess it's not up to them, it's up to Vince McMahon, of course, but Vince McMahon also usually supports this adage as well, and that's why I think that SmackDown's The Street Profits will be victorious in that match. So far it's one for Raw, one for SmackDown. The next two matches up are for the top championship belts for the women's and the men's. The first one is the Raw Women's Champion Asuka taking on SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. Yeah, I think that this match and the men's top championship match, even though it's not for a championship belt or anything, but I think both of these will be mired in controversy. There's going to be interference in both. For this first one with Asuka versus Sasha Banks, we've been seeing Carmella attack Sasha Banks in recent weeks, really starting to build up a feud there. So I fully expect Sasha Banks to lose to Asuka tonight on account of Carmella doing something to cause this defeat for Sasha Banks. She's going to interfere and cause problems for Sasha. So I'm choosing Raw's Asuka to be victorious in this match over Sasha Banks. So now the tally is Raw 2 and SmackDown 1. This is where I think the momentum will change. The SmackDown now for where I think SmackDown will take the advantage here. We have the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre taking on Universal Champion Roman Reigns. This is an exciting match on paper for sure. However, just like the top women's belt matchup or whatever, they're not gonna. I don't think they want to give either party a clean victory, thus making the other party look weaker. So this one, too, much like I believe the women's match will feature, this one's going to have some interference as well. Randy Orton just lost the WWE Championship back to Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw this past week. And he's, conspicuously absent from the Survivor Series card here. So you can bet your bottom dollar that Randy Orton is coming back for Drew McIntyre. Their feud's not going to be done yet. I do have a feeling, I got a sense though, that with this matchup with Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, this is definitely not the last time we're going to see this matchup. And part of me feels like it could come as soon as WrestleMania, depending on how the storylines, match up and whatnot. And I wouldn't be surprised if it became some sort of a triple threat angle with these two guys and Randy Orton. But it's WrestleMania, of course, is many months away. Lots can and will change. But like I said, I get the sense I'm getting this smells like a WrestleMania caliber match earlier than expected, which is why they're not going to give us the requisite ending that everybody would like to see. So I think for sure that Randy Orton's going to play a role in this match. He's going to play a role in Drew McIntyre's in his loss to Roman Reigns tonight, and further cementing Roman Reigns as one of a top heel bad guy character going in the company right now. So Roman Reigns is my pick for that matchup on account of Randy Orton's help over Drew McIntyre. So now the tally stands at 2 for Raw and 2 for SmackDown. On to the final 2 matches of the evening, which are both traditional Survivor Series style elimination matches, and they're both 5-on-5. The first is the 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series elimination match. For Team Raw, it has the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, as well as Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana, taking on the SmackDown team of Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, and Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Bayley. I think that there's a little bit more firepower on SmackDown, and going with my initial feeling on the night, which is SmackDown's going to take charge and win the night, I'm thinking that's Team SmackDown here is going to come away victorious, winning this big women's 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series elimination match. So that's my pick, is that the Team SmackDown will win there. And I guess just for fun, I'm going to say that I'm going with Bayley being the sole survivor of this Team SmackDown in this matchup tonight. But of course, that's not part of the original prediction. The original prediction is I just think Team SmackDown will win. But just for fun, I'm including Bayley as I think will be the sole survivor of that match. And now on to the final 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series elimination match. Team SmackDown Team Raw is certainly on paper quite stacked. You got Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle, who's just going by Riddle now, apparently, taking on the SmackDown team of Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis. I definitely think there's more firepower on Team Monday Night Raw, more size for sure. However, going with the theme of the night, which is what I feel is SmackDown's domination, and they will be victorious. I'm erring on the side of SmackDown winning the top or both of the Survivor Series elimination style matches, the traditional Survivor Series matches. SmackDown's got to be victorious. To me, that makes the most sense. As far as who will be the survivors, the sole survivors of the matchup, I gotta say that I like. That's tough. I gotta say I probably would go with Seth Rollins and King Corbin together. I think those two guys together will be the remaining SmackDown competitors left standing at the end of this match. But overall, like I said, I think since the prediction for the match is just which team will win, I'm going with Team SmackDown to win this one, which would give the overall tally tonight as SmackDown having 4 wins and Monday Night Raw having 2. So there you have it, folks. Those are my predictions for the show. Undertaker's final farewell. Hopefully they're going to include some really cool stuff with that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do for Undertaker's send-off. And hopefully the show is exciting. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you heard some insightful information and predictions from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel below if you liked what you heard. Thanks very much for listening, and see you next time.